Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into chapter 39 of Solo Leveling, Ragnarok. Without wasting any more time, let's jump right in. The chapter opens with the apostle now have fully control of Lee Min-sang's body. Brandishing his glowing sword, he points it directly at Suho. His voice is commanding, dripping with authority. I too have been waiting to meet you, Sabat, in the black mask. Suho's expression darkens as he locks eyes with the transformed figure before him. Lee Min-sang is a completely different person now, and judging by the way he's speaking, Suho clenches his fists and coldly asks, "Are you the apostle sent by the god of the other world?" The apostle smirks, his yellow eyes gleaming with excitement. As I thought, you already know of our existence. He spreads his golden wings slightly, his aura rippling through the air like a divine decree. Yes, I am here for one purpose, to claim ownership of this world you call Earth. Suho takes in every word, his thoughts racing. So my father is trapped because of these guys. A burning resolve ignites within him. He tightens his grip and takes a battle stance. You're not taking this world without a fight, he says, his voice unwavering. Just then, a powerful voice booms through the battlefield, stopping both Suho and the apostle in their tracks. The air thickens with suffocating pressure as a figure approaches. The apostle and Suho's eyes widen in shock. Standing tall, exuding the dominance of an apex predator, is Lim Taiyu. His mere presence sends a silent warning. From this moment on, neither of you are allowed to move without my permission, he commands, his hand hovering over his bow, ready to fire. Try anything, and I promise you'll be riddled with holes. His piercing gaze lands on Lee Min-sang's transformed figure as he draws his arrow, his voice dripping with fury. Lee Min-sang, what the hell is wrong with you? What have you been doing this entire time? His grip tightens on the bow, studying the entity before him. This isn't the same Lee Min-sang I knew. His instincts scream that something is off. Suho, frozen in shock, watches as Lim Taiyu, an S-rank hunter, intervenes. Why is Lim Taiyu here? Suho's mind races, his eyes flicking between him and the apostle. But before he can think further, the apostle turns to him with a sinister smile. It seems we can't have our deep conversation here, he says playfully. Let's meet again at the highest point in this region, Black Mask. Lim Taiyu's eyes flare with anger at the apostle's blatant attempt to flee. Where do you think you're going, Linung? His patience snaps. Without warning, he releases an arrow, his voice cutting through the air like steel. I told you, you're not moving without my permission. The moment Lim fires, Lee Min-sang, no, the apostle, turns his head, his glowing eyes locking onto the speeding projectile. In a single, effortless movement, he sidesteps, and the arrow tears past him, hurtling straight towards Suho. Suho barely has time to react. Damn it! In a split second, he bends backward, narrowly dodging the deadly shot as it whizzes past his face. The force of the near miss sends a sharp gust through his hair. Now airborne, the apostle unfurls his radiant golden wings and shoots up into the sky, escaping the immediate battlefield. Meanwhile, Suho barely manages to avoid the explosion that erupts from Lim's arrow, its impact sending tremors through the ground. Lim isn't done. Without missing a beat, he conjures multiple arrows at once, his skill on full display as he takes precise aim. I said don't move, he commands, releasing the barrage of arrows toward both Suho and the apostle. The projectiles cut through the air with deadly precision, but the apostle dodges them mid-flight as if they were nothing, twisting effortlessly through the barrage. He weaves through the arrows like a celestial being beyond human reach. Suho, on the other hand, relies on sheer speed and agility, maneuvering past the storm of arrows with razor-sharp reflexes. He dodges one, then another, and another, his body moving like a blur. The battlefield is now a chaotic dance of speed, skill, and overwhelming power. Yet, the fight is only just beginning. As Suho creates distance between himself and the chaos, he mutters under his breath, frustration evident in his tone. Damn it! Looks like Lim Taiyu came here to take down Lee Min-sang too. From the shadows beneath him, Beru's eerie, insect-like eyes gleam as he speaks. Are you not going to retaliate, young monarch? His voice carries amusement, as if itching for battle. Suho flicks his gaze toward Lim Taiyu, his expression unreadable. Judging by his reactions, Hunter Lim Taiyu doesn't seem connected to the apostle of Itarim. Besides, he hasn't even shown his full power yet. Meanwhile, Lim Taiyu is growing visibly irritated. His eyes narrow as he watches his arrows being dodged with unnatural ease. He tightens his grip on the bow, frustration slipping into his words. What the hell is with these guys? They're dodging my arrows like it's second nature. But instead of dwelling on his irritation, he shifts his focus entirely to Lee Min-sang. Right now, taking down Lee Min-sang comes first. I can't waste time worrying about the other guy. Lim's aura flares as raw energy crackles around him. He pours more power into his next shot, the bowstring stretching taut. I guess it was selfish of me to think I could capture you unharmed, Min-sang. Sensing the overwhelming surge of mana from the S-rank hunter, the apostle tenses. A bead of sweat forms on his brow as a single thought echoes in his mind. That mana? It's dangerous. This is bad, Hen. Just as Lim is about to unleash his devastating shot, something shifts behind him. His sharp instincts kick in, and his eyes widen in pure shock. He hadn't sensed anything sneaking up behind him. An impossibility for an S-rank hunter. Spinning around, his arrow still primed, he confronts the threat, only to see a goblin, peering from behind the trees and bushes, wide-eyed with terror. Not just any goblin, Suho's shadow goblin. The small creature stands frozen, trembling as it stares down the lethal tip of Lim's arrow. Its big eyes well up with tears as a single thought races through its panicked mind. Why am I in this situation? Even Lim, a seasoned S-rank hunter, is momentarily dumbfounded. His expression twists into confusion. Wait, a goblin? The absurdity of it all hits him at once, and for the briefest moment his mind stalls. Then, realization dawns, his expression darkens. Suho and the apostle are gone. A slow-burning frustration builds within him as he lowers his bow. The battlefield, now littered with destruction, mocks his failure. Lim grits his teeth. I can't believe I fell for that. What the hell, man? His eyes narrow as his thoughts return to Lee Min-sang. Min-sang, what the hell are you thinking? What exactly are you planning to do? The scene shifts. A phone rings. A firm hand picks it up. I see. So Lee Min-sang escaped. The deep voice belongs to none other than the president of the Hunters Association. His expression remains unreadable as he processes the report. Lim Taiyu stands nearby, grim-faced, with Choi and Miho. Letting out a slow, disappointed breath, Lim speaks. Apologies, Association Chairman. This was my mistake. Lee Min-sang didn't look normal, most likely the effects of some kind of drug. And there was another hunter with him, a hunter wearing a black mask. Choi's eyes widen in shock. He turns sharply toward Lim, his voice rising in urgency. Wait, a hunter in a black mask? Was he built like a brawler? Lim blinks, momentarily taken aback by Choi's sudden reaction. How do you know that? He asks, curiosity piqued. Choi clenches his fists, his mind racing. Because during the airport dungeon break, I saw a hunter wearing a black mask too. He was fighting off the magic beasts alone, along with the black magic beasts. Silence fills the room as the weight of Choi's words sinks in. The association chairman leans forward, his fingers interlocked. His sharp gaze grows thoughtful as a particular memory surfaces. Jinwoo Shadow Army, black magic beasts. If that's the case, the chairman muses, then they should belong to Jinwoo. A deep frown forms on his face as his mind chases a possibility, but he forces himself to remain rational. Could it be that the missing hunter, Jinwoo, has returned? Quote, his fingers tap against the desk, a quiet rhythm filling the room as he wrestles with the thought. But then his expression hardens. No, if Jinwoo was truly back, he would have ended this situation in no time. Which means, who the hell could it be? The scene shifts again. We're now at the highest point in the region, the place where the apostle had chosen for their final confrontation. Suho arrives at the desolate peak, his steps firm and unyielding. His sharp eyes scan the area before locking onto the apostle, who stands waiting at the summit of the mountain. The wind howls between them, carrying an eerie silence. Suho closes the distance, his expression hardening. The apostle, leaning casually against his sword, greets him with a slow, sinister smirk.
No distractions this time. This is the battlefield we've been waiting for.
With a devilish glint in his eyes, the apostle raises his blade, pointing it at Suho with deliberate confidence. How unexpected, he muses. Why did you help me escape? Suho doesn't slow his pace. His tone drops to an icy chill. Isn't it obvious? His gaze darkens. You'll abandon Lee Min-sang's body the moment things get dangerous for you. The apostle's wicked grin stretches wider. His real body, free from the limitations of a human vessel, radiates an aura of overwhelming presence. He chuckles darkly.
I've heard whispers from the demons.
They say the darkness in this world is a being known as the Shadow Monarch. His eyes flicker with intrigue. Tell me, what's your connection to him? A shadow passes over Suho's face. His narrowed eyes turn razor-sharp as his voice grows colder than ice. You asked too many questions. His grip tightens, but he adds, I don't need to explain anything to you. A slow breath. I'll just beat the answers out of you. From the shadows beneath Suho, a familiar voice emerges. Beru's chittering tone carries a note of caution. Be careful, young monarch. Now that the apostle has taken full control of Lee Min-sang's body, I cannot fathom the extent of his power. Suho nods, but his lips curl into a slight smile, just enough to reveal a glint of confidence. Don't worry, Beru. I came prepared. Without warning, a pulse of raw energy surges from the abyss of Suho's shadow, distorting the air around them. The ground trembles beneath their feet. The apostle's eyes gleam with twisted excitement. Suho's voice echoes like a command of judgment, cold, absolute, and filled with power. Arise. The apostle watches, amusement in his eyes, as dark forms erupt from the depths of Suho's shadow. But as the figures fully emerge, his smirk falters. Just for a moment, the battlefield has changed. Behind Suho stands an army of monstrous shadows, each a terrifying remnant of his past conquests. The king of the swamp, the blue venom-fanged Kasaka, the poison-toothed giant desert centipede, and the massive high troll. Among them stands a towering sentinel, the tomb warden, a rank elite. But Suho isn't done. From his inventory he withdraws something special. The Shadow Dungeon key. This, he murmurs, gripping the key tightly, is what I've been saving for this very moment. With a single motion, the shadows beneath him twist and expand. From the depths of his personal dungeon, two figures emerge. Suho's eyes blaze with unshakable determination. No holding back, he declares, his voice resolute. Let's go all out. The apostle, taking in the full scale of Suho's forces, lets out a low, twisted chuckle. Then, a grin spreads across his face. Wild, ecstatic, hungry. His aura flares with unrestrained excitement. Oh, this is gonna be fun! Thanks for watching, everyone! We've just covered the latest chapter of Solo Leveling, Ragnarok. And trust me, there's more intense action coming your way. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome recaps. If you enjoyed the content, feel free to click the thanks button to show your support. We'll be back soon with more thrilling episodes. Until then, cheers!